Hello everyone, it's STUFFCAST. Welcome back. This is a follow-up to our premiere episode.
No, it's episode 3. Okay.
This is episode 3.
Yep.
Sorry, can we do that over? I forgot we recorded 2. I literally, as Joe said that, I went, oh yeah. Right, let's do that over. Damn it. Right. Okay. Are we good? Yeah.
Hang on, before you start, I just need to remind Tyler, before I forget, there is the bit where we mention Val, who shall not be named, aka
TD. Oh, right.
Yeah, but we don't mention their name. However, it's very obvious who they are, so remember to look for that and cut that out. It was just before the midway break.
Is that in the last episode? Okay, cool.
Yeah, episode 2.
Cool.
Just
cool.
to...
Oh, I remember
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Don't want to get...
I might have stopped recording by that point.
Oh, okay. Double check.
Because I'm very aware of it at all times.
I'm pretty sure you did. We did say like pause, and then Joe, you were just like right.
Yes, but
Now that we're paused,
right at the end of the recording, you were like, oh, I got a story about and then so yeah.
Oh yeah.
So it was like, and it's in like direct relation to the conversation. So
I see.
check that.
Mhm.
So yeah. All right. Well, anyway, so carry on.
Okay, we all good?
Hold on, let me just.
Okay.
All right, cool.
Let me know when you're ready.
Yep.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome back to STUFFCAST. This is our 3rd episode. We're glad you could join us this evening, or morning, or whenever the hell you're watching it. I'm Ben, and joining me are 2 wonderful chaps. If you'd like to introduce yourselves.
Yo, what's up, guys? It's your boy, Liang de Padway Lemengi Dringepi.
Otherwise known by his shorter nickname, the wonderful Tyler. I was going to say making the noises is the luminescent Joe, but then Tyler made a noise. Immediately in the same time, so I can't distinguish them.
Nice one, bro. Nice one.
You know,
You've completely
always
thrown it
fine.
off.
Always fine. Always fine.
We might as well pack up and go home.
No.
I'm completely lost.
I'm Joe. I'm the cute one.
Fuck you! Fuck you!
Tyler's the masculine one. He's the charismatic one.
I'll bench you.
He's the tiki head emoji.
Exactly. So we got some spicy topics for you tonight this evening.
We is.
This morning, whenever. Again, this exists in a vacuum.
Just
Whenever you are watching. Right, we've got a list of topics. To start off, Tyler has a mystery topic that me and Joe are unaware of. So Tyler, if you'd like to take it away.
Oh my god, what is it going to be?
What is one of the most important things that a human needs?
Ooh.
Is that a rhetorical question?
No, that is the question, I believe.
The answer is sleep. What haven't I gotten enough of recently? As of recording,
Japanese food.
exactly.
Ah, brilliant.
As of recording, I haven't slept for the past 72 hours. 72? 32. Jesus Christ.
I was going to say 72.
Yeah, I would be dead. 32-ish hours.
Are you serious?
Yes.
What? How?
I did 26 after an Oscars one year, and that near killed me. So you're a trooper. I don't know how you're still alive. In all honesty.
I've just sort of been raging on.
Fair enough.
I think it was like kind of between October half term and the Christmas holidays. Like for when Big M was heating up at college, like, and I was getting all fucking weird. You know, when I wasn't in college, and I was like, time I literally can't sleep. What was I doing? I was making the Minecraft battle royale.
Yeah. Yeah, you were.
Don't laugh, Ben. It's
No, it's quite good. It's quite good, to be fair.
That made me laugh. It's a happy laugh.
It's still a work in progress, but I've added a command block that like chunks out the middle of the map.
That is pretty good.
It's kind of funny, but anyway, yeah, I was literally like, I was pulling like vegans. It's not good. I would not recommend. I was very ill, but yeah. Sorry. Oh, where are we? Sleep.
So I think the footnote we are making is that if any point there is an extended period of silence from Tyler, he is either A, dead, or B, just contemplating what pearl of wisdom is going to drop next.
No, I feel quite awake, to be fair.
They also.
But the reason why
Would you say you're woke?
I'm always woke.
Okay. Well, that's fine.
That's good. That's good. We actually have woke people.
The reason why I bring it up is because I got home earlier, 2-3 hours ago. Walked past the shoe cupboard and there is a brown coat hanging up in there.
Yeah.
And obviously I haven't slept for a while, so my brain's just gone fucking haywire. I've no idea what the hell is going on. Sort of autopiloting for that bit. And I generally thought that Chewbacca was in the shoe cupboard. Because it was on like a hook that's like above me. And I just sort of kept going down.
So it was like 8 foot.
Yeah. It looked.
You had a delusion triggered by a brown coat.
Yeah.
And it took the form of the Star Wars Holiday Special. It's exceptional.
But nothing in my body went, yeah, that doesn't seem right. I just went, oh, cool. He's here. Yeah. I was like, oh, he's chilling. He's vibing.
That's breathtaking, Tyler.
Honestly, that is wholesome 100. That is
Give me my upvote.
that is Chungus.
I'm gonna put that on.
I might chip in and give you gold for that one.
Platinum.
Yes, you're too kind. You're too kind.
I'm but a kind stranger. wandering Reddit, giving gold to whomever
I might make the main character of my next film a Redditor.
Oh,
That'd be
God.
gold, challenging, and progressive. Reddit is a severely underrated community in media.
I get Jack to play him as a simp.
We need to like have like a prefix like Chungus Tyler, Chungus Ben, and Chungus Joe.
Well, we can't all be Chungus.
Yeah, we can't be.
That's simply ridiculous.
Okay. Oh, sorry. I'll be wholesome.
Okay, so wholesome Joe.
I'll be based.
Based. Based Ben.
Based Ben. Speaking of based, we're just going to pull the Polar Express right back onto its wheels here. Based, new Bond is coming. April Fool's Day, I believe. Is it April 1st?
April Summit.
April 1st to 4th. One of those. No Time to Die. Very exciting. I'm very excited. And so
I'm going to see it on 420.
I thought you were
That's
gonna be
weed,
very-
bruv. That's fucking weed.
No.
I was like, how'd you book tickets? And then I caught on you were making a Reddit joke.
No. I was like, yeah.
So, in the spirit of Bond, what we've decided to do is we're going to cast, each member of STUFFCAST is going to cast their own Bond film, and this pertains to the actor playing Bond, the director, the song, optional artist, well, preferably us, and then subsequent characters like Q, M, Bond girl, so and so. But before we do that, I think we should all go around and talk about our favourite Bond film. Pick a favourite Bond film, brief 1 minute.
Can I go first?
Yeah.
So, my favourite is Spectre,
I say
because I've not seen anything else.
He's only seen Spectre.
that is a very hot take. And why do you like Spectre then, Tyler?
I don't.
Oh, brilliant.
If anything, my favourite
What
Bond.
did you not like about Spectre?
Everything past the opening shot.
Oh, I like the Radiohead song. Oh wait.
Oh no, yeah. Oh no, that is the best bit where Sam Smith goes. That was it.
Yeah.
The first gay man to get an Oscar.
Yeah, Elton John. Literally just shit.
Elton John, he just doesn't exist.
Okay, yeah, but he's non-binary now. So like, yeah, he came out as like non-binary or whatever.
Not Elton John.
No, not Elton John. Sam Smith.
Yeah, I thought you were saying Elton
Yeah.
John.
No. Sam Smith came out as non-binary, so in my books, I think he needs to give his Oscar back.
The Oscar is not given to him on the part that he's gay or not.
Oh, is it not?
In Kyler's mind, it is.
I feel like I don't quite understand the Oscars.
Hashtag cancelled.
What? You can't cancel a legend.
I think Sam Mendes has some answering to do with Spectre, and we will be talking about him later. But moving on, Joe, what is your favourite Bond film and why?
I mean,
Oh, is it Skyfall?
Objectively Skyfall, but I prefer Casino Royale because it's hard as fuck.
Is that the one where he's naked and he gets whipped on a chair?
Yeah.
That's all.
Gay!
Oh
Yeah, to
my
be fair-
god, you've exposed me!
It's 2019. There's nothing wrong with being gay.
I can't believe I just blasphemed on a podcast, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Come on, especially with the later topics. Come on, guys.
That's not very harem.
You're spoiling it for the audience. So, Joe, I think there is an argument that the Casino Royale is actually Skyfall, objectively, because I just think they're
Okay, well that's cool.
very different kinds of films.
It's a hard one to argue because Skyfall is just.
Shut myself.
They're both masterfully crafted in different ways.
Yeah. So talk a little bit about Skyfall. Why do you attracted to Skyfall?
Fat Deeks, the boy. Obviously, DP, greatest ever. Some would say the GOAT. Just you know, did bits. He does bits every time. You know.
He do bits.
He does. But also there's a sort of sense of dread that the whole film has that Casino Royale doesn't really. Casino Royale has it, but in like a way that's like it's like constantly moving. Like Casino Royale feels like it's on like a train, like you're on train tracks, right? But like, and it's like you're like the train's like hurtling towards like a cliff, and you can't get off it and you can't stop it. And there's no brakes on the train and shit. But Skyfall's like you're in the back of a van and you've got a blindfold on. Skyfall's much more of like you feel like, oh fucking hell, what's gonna happen next? Whereas like Casino Royale, you kind of know something's gonna happen, but you also don't. Both times you don't know what's gonna happen, but they present it in different ways. Like one of them's sort of fear, the other one's kind of like anticipation.
Yeah, I completely get that because I think Casino Royale's more like it's obviously. You know, it did a lot for Bond by sort of reinventing itself, but it feels also like classic Bond. It's very like entertaining.
Yeah, it's super
in the
classic.
sense that you know that James Bond's going to be fine. It's like an Indiana Jones. You know he's going to come out of it fine. In Skyfall, there's that uncertainty. It's a lot more.
Yeah, you think there is points
like,
where you
oh, are they
think
gonna?
he's gonna get scrapped.
It's a lot more critical and harsh. I think.
All the stuff in Shanghai is like great as well.
That's the highlight of the film for me. Or the ending, obviously, 20-30 minutes is.
Yeah, I think Skyfall just because of the fact that basically they reinvented Bond twice, if you know what I mean, and that's why Skyfall falls short. Even though I appreciate the fact that it took a risk, Casino Royale is a better Bond film because it reinvented it, but it also played into what made Bond great in the first.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
So
I respect.
yes.
In terms of my own.
Shut up, man.
Sorry. Just laughing to myself.
I'd have to go with. I think it's a split again because, again, they're very different types of movies. I love Casino Royale and I love Skyfall both equally. Those were my two first Bonds actually, so I do feel very close to them and I do love this film. But I also really like Goldfinger because I'm.
I like the one with Baron Samedi in it just because of the characters. Fucking hilarious.
I like Moonraker.
There's
Really cool shit.
There's something so like classic about it. It feels like Goldfinger feels like in the vein of like a classic. Like, it's not similar to Indiana Jones and kind of themes stuff, but it feels like classic adventure.
Yeah.
Fun action.
Who's that bird who did the song as well?
Oh, Shirley Bassey.
Shirley Bassey.
Yeah, great Bond song. Really fantastic.
Did she do Diamonds Are Forever as well?
Yes, she did. She did.
Or was that Kanye West?
Kanye West is going to do a Bond one of these days.
Funny you should say that because in the next section about Bond, I have Kanye mentioned.
You're gonna have to expand on that one.
I think.
Are we going into it or?
The worst Bond film has to go to the final Pierce Brosnan one.
Where he rides the wave.
The big wave.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
like
a
North
mess.
Korea.
Mess.
It's just bad. I'm not even gonna get into that. It just is.
Hello. Oh, Rhythmbot just left. I thought somebody just tanked. I was like, oh.
Students have left.
Oh.
Yeah. So yeah. Let's move on to casting our own Bond film in celebration for our new Bond because.
Yes.
Bond's being replaced after this film. Daniel Craig's finally being released from the handcuffs. It's like Chris Evans.
Or is he?
Or is he? Yeah.
Because,
No, I
mean, Skyfall was, and then Spectre was.
Barbara Broccoli has confirmed that the new Bond will be a male after all the controversy and worry. So if any of you have been like, I'm going to be different and be a simp and try and gender flip it, it's not where the franchise is going.
Even from someone who understands, to be fair, I think the progressive point of Bond as a woman, it completely agrees with James Bond should be a man. I don't think, only some people who are very deluded say it should be a woman. I think what they're calling for is more original films starring women in those roles, like stuff like Atomic Blonde. Now, whatever you think.
Well, it's just, people like fucking Luke Besson don't do any fucking help because they make shit like Lucy and Anna. Those two fucking. That does not help because you just sit and you're like, fucking hell.
Yeah.
Like, because.
I'm quite excited. I'm really excited for this new Bond because they've obviously given, I think, a 00 role to a woman and she's going to be in it as a supporting character to James Bond. And I think.
Yeah, I hope she plays 006 and not 007 because there's something about 007 that's kind of sacred. If you know.
To be fair, in the trailer they do say she's a 00, but they're definitely, and they do refer to James Bond as 007 in the trailer. So I think she's going to be a different one.
Okay. I would love. I think she has to be 006 to make it do.
Wait. What if she was 0021?
Are they allowed to have 4 digits?
I don't know. I don't know.
There's only allowed to be 9 because if 010 just doesn't sound very cool.
After a certain amount, do they have to add an area code? So it's like plus 44. You know, 07.
Plus 44.
Isn't that bad?
So, I would like to go first for casting their very own Bond film.
I can go first if you want.
Yeah, Tyler, go.
Yeah.
So the criteria is, it's Bond, director, song, Q, M, the Bond girl, the villain, and then Joe's put reboot or not. So
I said would it be like an adaptation of an old one and reboot that, or would it be an original?
Yeah, because there are lots of books, but we're running out of books to do. Tyler, take it.
Squeaky chair.
Right. So I was thinking Bond's got to be English, right?
He's Scottish, I believe.
Well, yeah, he's Scott. Yeah, the character's Scottish, but they usually.
He could be either British, basically.
Here's what I'm thinking. John Boyega as Bond. A younger, fresher take. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm feeling it.
Yeah.
Young Bond.
And then for Q, I've got written down Warwick Davis. Just because I think Warwick Davis would actually be really funny in that role.
Yeah, he could actually, to be fair.
I think that's a sound. I like that. I like where this is going. Tyler. This is lit.
So
Litter than mine.
M is Bob Geldof. Because in my mind, Bob Geldof rules over every other famous English person as the king of famous English people.
Okay, he's Irish.
Just in my head. just in my head, he's that. So.
Please don't kill us, Northern Ireland, please.
Please don't car bomb us.
We take that back.
So the villain, hear me out here, right?
Yeah.
It's not a reboot.
Okay.
Right.
Ralph Fiennes, who played M in Spectre,
Yes.
he's now a villain. He's not the villain of this new movie.
He goes evil.
He started his own business.
I like this.
He's like he's Buff Mustache Man from Mission Impossible.
Gotta be careful.
Yeah. Girl, obviously Jessica Chastain. Won't go into that.
The thing is, I can see all of this working. I'd have to probably stretch it for Bob.
Well, no, these last two will fucking solidify it for you, Ben.
Okay.
Because I've got the song written down as Wolves by Kanye.
Yes, I'm here for it.
And the director is James Mangold.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be a gritty retelling.
Now I could dig. I think Tyler has presented us with a solid, progressive, inventive Bond.
All I'm saying is that would be fucking sick, bruv.
That would be a sick film. I would pay cash money to watch it.
But you also paid cash money to watch Cats.
Well, and I stand by this as a worthy
Cat-
investment.
Cats is an investment.
It was transformative. Right, so now we're going to hear Joe's weak ass Bond film compared to that amazing
Okay.
Tyler.
Yeah, step your fucking game up, you.
Let me guess. Bond. It's going to be
Idris Elba.
Olivia Colman.
Oh, she's so hot. She's so hot.
She's
Well,
you're beautiful.
Look, sorry, I need to just find what the, because my idea. Live and Let Die. Okay, cool. Okay, so
Live and let fart.
yes, my one would be a reboot with Live and Let Die. With Henry Cavill as Bond, Q as Steve Coogan, M as Hugh Laurie, Idris Elba will play Baron Samedi.
Is this like actually, I'll let you finish and then I'll ask.
He just won't get fucking cast as shit.
Okay.
Obviously, Radiohead would come back and actually do the Bond song. It would be directed by Harmony Korine. and have Joey King as Bond.
I feel like there's something effing wrong.
So Harmony Korine, directors of Gummo and Trash Humpers, fucking Live and Let Die.
Excuse me, the fact that you didn't say Spring Break in that breath.
Oh yeah, of course. Spring Break.
Also, is it Teens? It is Teen. No. What's the one his first one? It's really early. Kids. It's Kids. Yeah, he made kids. He invented kids.
So, what do you think of that one? That list?
Well, first off, Henry Cavill was fucking ginormous.
He's a giant man. Yeah, I think James Bond should become like I think in this he'd be portrayed like a super soldier Bond. You know.
So basically, you just want to watch Mission Impossible.
No, because like
you want to watch English Mission Impossible.
I'm pretty sure he bulked for Superman and Mission Impossible, so he'd probably be a bit leaner to do.
Oh no, he did do The Man from U.N.C.L.E., didn't he? He was quite lean in that.
He was like chopped in that.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, fair enough, actually. Fair enough.
Coogan as Hugh and Hugh Laurie as M, legitimately good ideas.
Yeah.
you could even reverse that. And
Yeah, you could.
That would
Yeah.
work.
You could even have that as the way you originally said, and that would work.
Yeah, no, I want a Harmony Korine Live and Let Die remake. Joey King.
I'm surprised that you said Radiohead and you didn't go with the guys that did the Mission Impossible 2 theme.
Oh, what, Limp Bizkit?
Yeah.
I retract Radiohead. It would be a Sugar Ray.
More like Sugar Gay.
I love that so much.
Fuck your ass.
I'll beat you, fuck.
Excuse me, Mr. Ray, can I have your autograph?
Doesn't he calls him a fart, doesn't he?
he said, yeah, he goes, you're a fart. You're my farts. Hey, get my autograph. You beat the fuck out of that kid right now.
Brilliant.
He got called gay.
He looks like an unhinged Ethan Hawke, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. No, him and Ethan Hawke, Tyler, what was it?
No, Ethan Hawke signed autographs as Sugar Ray if they think he's Sugar Ray, and vice versa.
He's not called Sugar Ray, he's called Mark McGrath.
I don't give a fucking shit. I don't give a fucking. I don't give a dick.
My man's called Sugar Ray.
Yeah, there's a whole list of those celebrities that are like. Funny.
First name Sir, middle name Gert, last name Ray.
Sugar Ray.
He's got like K-pop names.
Oh my god, yeah, Sugar Ray.
Oh no, I take it back. I don't want Kanye or Wolves. I want BTS's Fake Love.
Oh, my other one. If Steve Coogan wasn't available to play Q, I'd get Harry Hill to be Q.
Fuck off.
Harry Hill's funny.
Fuck you, Ben. What's yours?
I'm speechless.
Oh yeah, we've got to do Ben's now.
I'm of two minds. Because I thought, what would I seriously watch as a Bond film?
You've only got one brain, though.
What I've heard is Joe uttered Harmony Korine is director. So I don't know whether to go genuine Bond or just in my wildest fantasy what I
he
would
could
like
do
to
something
see.
really uncomfortable with like Henry Cavill.
Yeah, he'd
and
have Henry
Idris
Cavill
Elba.
swinging dead cats at trees.
Yeah, but
I beg your pardon?
no, it'd be like Idris Elba would be doing some horrible voodoo shit on Joey King,
but-
and then Henry Cavill's like, oh no, Joey King, Queen,
And he just
it gets weird.
and he dicks her down.
For context, Tyler, there's a scene in Gummo in which a bunch of kids beat a dead cat, and it goes on for quite a while.
Oh,
So to have that in a Bond film would be very entertaining.
is that an Oscar night movie?
They just beat
No, Gummo did not get any Oscar noms.
Is it going to be Parasite and then Gummo?
I wish Gummo won Best Picture.
It's the definition of cult classic.
What?
It's hated by the critics.
What if it did? What if it did win Best Picture?
What? Gummo? Because I don't think
Gummo.
Gummo, yeah. Can we get a Gummo, Frank? Can we get Gummo Cinematic Universe, please? Can we get a Gummo reboot?
Isn't that all of Harmony Korine's films? Because they're all taking Harmony Korine land. It's insane, demented brain that he possesses.
Nothing's real.
Everything's real.
Anyway, Ben, your list.
Okay.
Go on, Benny boy.
I'm lost. Right, okay, this Bond. Start with Bond, the central. I would like to see Richard Madden.
Is he bodyguard man?
Yes.
Cool.
Like to see.
The Hitman's Bodyguard.
No, not. Oh no. Can we
Hitman
have
Agent
one
47.
podcast episode where we don't mention Ryan Reynolds?
I want Ryan Reynolds as my Bond. He'd be really funny and give a.
Shut up.
Fuck off, Matt. Fuck off.
You know what? Ryan Reynolds looks at the camera and goes, "You see, I'm a spy. You see," and then they'll be like, "Oh my gosh, Ryan Reynolds," and he'd be like,
I
"How
want,
can they see me?"
I want Sam Jackson as my Bond so he can say motherfucker, and I'll go.
Sam Jackson is M.
Do you know what would have to happen for Ryan Reynolds to be Bond and Samuel Jackson to be Ed?
The world would have to die.
Quentin Tarantino would have to lose his mind more than he already had, then sign on to direct a Bond film, and then make them do like British accents. I can just vividly picture like a senile Tarantino, just like, yeah, we're making a Bond.
Oh
It's
man,
just
I
got
don't.
this American cast.
I don't want to, because if he's doing the one with Joey King, I don't want to see that. Quentin Tarantino
Right.
and Joey King, like, come on, man.
He'd whip out the feet.
I don't want to
He'd
say
be the
it.
first
Oh
Bond film to-
shit, that's a good point.
Well, now I do want to see it.
For legal purposes,
Wait, how old is she?
She's like
19.
our age.
Oh, okay,
Alright.
okay, that's fine. I don't give a shit.
we love you, Joe King. You're great.
She's fucking butters, though. She's butters.
No,
No,
legal disclaimer. None of us want to see your feet. We absolutely don't.
Put them away. She looks 12. It's.
so
No,
good.
that's why
Asa Butterfield.
that's why it's a good idea to have the minute Harmony Green film with a voodoo witch doctor played by Idris Elba. It would be you could do some horrible shit with that.
Now,
Like,
wouldn't that be a little bit culturally insensitive?
oh my god, what? Sorry, voodoo. Like,
Oh wait, no more than Yardi. But
let's not talk about the.
yeah, let's not go there.
Carry on, Ben. Carry on.
Right. Richard Madden, I think he's phenomenal, and he deserves more roles. I'm gonna give it to him. And he's Scottish. Classic return to.
He'll be like, hey, Bond.
John Hamm.
Hugh, I want. I actually want.
Harry Hill.
Steve, I'm going to steal your Steve Coogan. I think Steve Coogan's a great Q. Excellent Q. You can get that classic British wit as well, and you can
And
do
awkwardness.
This is an exploding pen. You know.
My dad said that Richard Iowati would be good as Q.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would actually.
That's kind of in the vein of Ben Whishaw, though, the current Q, isn't it? He's kind
Yeah,
of
but like I don't know who he is.
nerdy Q.
He needs a bit of a mark.
He's the voice of Paddington, you pleb.
Oh, Sorry, all hell Paddington. Best
Yeah,
Kino.
and he's in Cloud Atlas. Best Kino. That film slaps. I don't care what anyone says.
No, it's fucking weird. I love it.
I might use that as my next recommendation.
I do respect Cloud Atlas a great deal. I do not respect the Wachowski sisters, though.
It's kind of funny though.
Joe, you're just a sexist pig.
Yeah.
they used to be.
I think we can all
agree.
I just want to be inside them.
My M would be Emma Thompson.
All right, isn't she the one that's in Selecting New York and Treasure Planet?
She's in Treasure Planet. She's not in Synecdoche, New York. Joe.
Okay,
so what fever dream you imagine?
It's not the same. Okay.
No, but she is in Treasure Planet. And
There's someone else with the similar like English name in Selecting New
Oh,
York.
you're thinking of her name's Samantha something. I literally can't remember though. But yeah,
I'm gonna have to get
I
the
know who you
cast up now. I can't let that slip my mind.
mean. I think I know who you mean. But yeah, I really like the Judi Dench Bond dynamic because it introduces that nice kind of like mother-son.
Yeah, I think it needs to be the two extremes. It needs to be like hardy man, like Ralph Fiennes or a Hugh Laurie, or it needs to be like hardy woman, like
Yeah.
my second choice would have been like Olivia Colman for him.
Yes, or
Yeah.
Olivia Colman, but I think so. Yeah, I'd say Coleman or Thompson because I really respect them as actresses, and I think they could do really great with it. In the vein of Judi Dench, so it's not really different to what's come before, but it would be. That's what I'd do anyway. Villain. I want for the villain.
Prince Harry.
This could be anything. I could say Jared Leto right now, and it would be completely valid because Jared Leto is an insane man.
Nah, just pick any fucking German actor and just fuck it.
I was thinking of Emily Watson.
What, as a villain? Oh
No,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Very, very. They end in son and start with M.
I love Emily Watson. She's great.
So yeah, I was thinking of the two names because they're very similar.
Yeah, I love Emma Watson.
Was the like
Villain.
Captain Knuckles like annoying? Where he's like oh.
Because a Bond villain's such a hard thing to get right.
It is.
It's like it doesn't work on paper, and then they do it, and it works. Like literally for Skyfall, they were like, let's just put No Country for Old Men Man and dye his hair blonde, and it worked. So it's really difficult.
I think Rami Malek could be really fucking good.
Yeah, no, he looks. I like the mask. It's
He's
very.
got a
like,
limp as well.
and his face looks like a.
I mean, he's got a massive dick.
He
He
do.
probably does, to be honest.
Oh, John Hammer's a villain. He's got a massive one.
He would be great.
Army Hammer is my.
Army, yes.
Army Hammer is my Bond villain because I love him.
And he has like Timothy Chalamet on like a chain, just with like a box of peaches.
Also, his name is Army Hammer.
Yeah, he is called.
Don't you dare disrespect.
That's a villainous name.
You're out to cause mischief when you called Army Hammer.
I just don't know where you could go with a Bond villain. It's really difficult to do something new because they've done camp, they've done like classic villain, they've done terrorist. Like, it's very limited what they could do unless they went like full camp and you just start like if you had Emperor Palpatine as a Bond villain, it would have to. Do you know what I mean? Like something that level of camp. The film would have to be quite high.
Josh Brolin as Thanos as my James Bond villain.
That's true. Josh Brolin as Thanos.
I would enjoy seeing James Bond shoot Thanos though.
Josh Brolin as Old Boy. Now that is a criminal performance.
Can we not
Josh
talk
Brolin
about
as
that?
George W. Bush.
Can we not talk about the Old Boy reboot for fuck's sake? Father.
I want Josh Brolin as George Bush from W. He's amazing as George Bush actually. Great George Bush. So yeah, villain I ain't gonna have Army Hammer because he's cool. Girl, I would have picked, funnily enough, Ana de Armas, but I think she is the Bond woman in.
Yeah, she's in the new Bond, which is great because she's great.
I think she's incredible and she's fantastic in Knives Out. So she would have actually been my first pick, even if she wasn't in it.
So now you've chosen Daisy Ridley as Dead Corpse Lady.
It's like Daisy Ridley can play a body.
Considering Bond girls are usually, well, when they're wasted, they're quite limited. I think Daisy Ridley could do a minor Bond.
Yeah, Leia Seydoux is too quiet to be a Bond girl.
Yeah, and she's wasted. I think the best Bond girl is probably something like Eva Green in Casino Royale because they did.
She's great. That was
she's
fucking
fantastic.
brilliant.
Yes, it just depends how much they
Because
want to
for
use
once,
her.
Bond actually cared. You know,
Yes,
properly cared.
it's
Without-
a brilliant.
Without
reinvention.
revealing any spoilers.
Yeah, it is a great reinvention because it's people got used to the formula. Oh, it's a pretty girl and then she dies, but in this it had such a better role and it was more interesting to the story.
Yeah.
Really worked. Song, in terms of artist, I would like to hear a Bond song from Meghan Trainor.
Yes, Ben.
I give up. Like I don't know who, because again, if you just said Adele to me for Skyfall, I'd have been like, okay. But then it turned out to be fantastic. So again, it's another thing that doesn't.
Yeah, and then you hear Jack White and then the Quantum of Solace one turned out like complete garbage
Yeah, exactly.
because they threw Christine Aguilera in there.
I've got it. Tom Jones. Bond.
He's already done one.
Has he? What's he done?
Yeah, I can't remember, but he's done one.
Oh, has some executive 40 years ago already had my brilliant idea? Tom Jones,
Right,
James
we'll
Bond.
get Tom Jones.
Oh, he did Thunderball. Oh dear. Oh, Joe has bricked.
Yeah, just fucking left. Why don't you just
Didn't hand
just pick fucking Bob Geldof as your artist?
Do you know what? That's not bad.
Yeah. See, it all works out in the end. It's all one big loop. We can have 3 James Bond movies coming out at the same time.
You know, and money. It just make.
Oh, Pink Floyd
Yes.
doing your fucking
Let's
James
resurrect
Bond song.
Sid Barrett. Let's have an OG Pink Floyd. Let's do pre-Dark Side Pink Floyd.
I don't want no fucking Sid Barrett, my goddamn Pink Floyd.
And get a man of here.
Motherfucker died and shit, you know what I'm saying?
Ah, that's sad. Sad,
What about your director, son?
bro. This could be anything. Welcome back to the land of the living, Leonard the Shark.
You must be Leonard.
You must be a Leonard. Literally my favourite line in any film ever. I don't think I've referenced any line more than "You must be Leonard" in the history of cinema. It's the delivery and then the character animation combined to form a yin and yang of cinema.
Can-
It's just perfect equilibrium.
Can we just go around in a circle doing our impressions?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Let's take a pause from my Bond. Ready? Have you got to be somewhere? Huh? That's what I thought. Right.
That was just the time it's saying that we're half an hour in.
Shut up, Joe.
Sorry.
Do your impression. Go. Do your impression.
Oh, me?
Yes.
Yeah.
You must be Leonard.
Like this. That really good comment.
You must be Leonard.
I love the different imitation on the. There's so many ways you can play that line. It's such a
You can
well-written
play it
line.
quite a few ways.
Yeah. Honestly, it's like actual golden dialogue.
You must be Leonard.
It's the character animation, isn't it? They somehow managed to make all of his limbs go in opposite directions all at once as he delivers the line. Like he's not even looking at him.
Can I ask how, in the brief time which I disconnected from the Discord call, you managed to get onto Food Fight?
Don't ask.
Particularly the Leonard one.
Because you're called Leonard the Shark on Discord.
Of course.
And I said, "Welcome back, Leonard the Shark," and Tyler went, "You must be Leonard." I need to.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll list them off really quickly. Song, the 1975, because I hate you, Joe. Director, Nolan or Villeneuve, because they'd be so boss.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Reboot or nah? No, just let them do what they want. Script, boom, my bomb. So it's kind of more serious, it's less camp, but I think
Yeah.
that'd be epic to see. I'd really enjoy that.
Except for the 1975, that's a bit cringe.
Yeah, well,
No, I only said that to a normal Joe.
They'll be like, yeah, I've got boner.
You're not far off. No, I think if I genuinely could pick a band, it would be Radiohead, but obviously they've already been shafted.
They're not a bitch, man.
Maybe Genesis.
Yeah, baby.
We use something from Selling England by the Pound or Nursery Crime. That'd be
Yeah, the 007 selling England by the pound.
Can you tell me where my country lies?
David Byrne.
Pardon?
David Byrne.
David Bowie.
No, you said David Byrne.
David Bowie's Gnome song.
Uh-oh.
Baron Samedi has resurrected many garden gnomes to attack the world. And he's building an army.
Fuck off. Fuck off.
We'll be right back after this short break to conclude our Bond discussion. We must
Have you
silence
got a
Joe. He's
light,
speaking too much.
boy?
He's speaking too much truth. So welcome back, guys. We're now going to talk about a recent film that's been released by a Bond director, Sam Mendes' 1917. Just hit cinemas in the last couple of weeks. We've all seen the film, I'm guessing, yes?
Yes.
Tyler, you've seen it yet?
1917. Boy.
Yeah.
On release night.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
Boy, howdy. Did I watch that movie?
Watch it. Oh, watch me.
Oh.
Let's leave that in the last decade where it belongs.
Fuck off. It's Banger Trap.
It's a trap banger.
Oh, I remember Trap, such a young genre, so full of hope.
It's still here.
You know what? Watch Me Nene was a diamond in the rough. And boy, was it a shiny diamond.
Rap album by Fetty Wap.
Okay.
Fetty Wap!
What did we all think of 1917 by Fetty Wap? Initial
I think-
impressions, Joe.
I think Fetty did a great job at whapping.
That concludes our topic. Thank you very
Well done.
much.
No, hold on. I got.
Tyler, you don't get any of it.
No, I had a funny.
You're a woman.
I had a funny.
Okay, deliver your phone.
I thought Wetty did great at his fapping.
I get it.
Thanks. Thank you.
Yes.
That concludes my funny.
Of course, 1917.
It's a
Recent kino.
brutally harrowing, depressing war movie.
Honestly, it's fucking shit.
No, it's shit.
Yeah,
It's great.
Yes, it
1
is.
out of 10. 1 out of 10.
Oh, it's just why they never cut away from anything. I just don't care about the characters.
One shot film. It was actually 2 shots. What's up with that?
Yeah, I felt
Spoilers,
lied
There is a
to.
cut. Anyway, yeah, let's do a brief initial impressions and then we'll dive into spoilers.
Initial impressions. It looks great. It highlights the complete futility of World War One.
Yes.
In a way that's voyeuristic rather than kind of like wee woo, saying Private Ryan-esque.
Wrong wall.
And I'm only saying that because
Idiot.
there's so many comparisons to Saving Private Ryan people are making, and they're just not justified at all because they're completely different films. But we'll get into that. First impressions, Tyler?
On a scale of 1 to 10, it's a 2.
Wow.
No, I'm.
What?
I mean, like, what do you think of the film?
Oh. I sat next to this fat bloke and he breathed out his mouth a lot, so it was like a bad movie or something.
Oh, dear.
And like every time something exciting would happen, you just hear him go, oh, and then he just like stuff.
Is that a joke?
He stuff his mouth full of popcorn.
Oh,
Until eventually my girlfriend told me to shut up, and I stopped doing that. So.
I get it.
It is very, very kino, and it's very, very based, and it's very, very good. It's my second highest rated movie on Letterboxd.
Very nice. That's what we
That's
like
it.
here, gentlemen. We like Kino here at
What's-
Stuffcast.
We love Kino.
You're gonna hate me, Joe. I was gonna make a Saving Private Ryan comparison, but only
Fuck you!
in terms of it is the inverse plot in that they're going to extract a guy, whereas they're going in 1917 to
Insert a guy.
insert a guy when they're supposed to cease an attack. So I guess it's similar base premise, but apart from that, I agree with you, Joe. There are no comparisons to be had here. I thought this was more in the vein of Dunkirk, in the sense that the minimalist characters, and you're just kind of dropped into it. And it's more about the general
Yeah, but because Nolan made Dunkirk, it's a masterpiece, and because Sam Mendes made this, then people are like, these are characters.
Dunkirk on Netflix soon.
Fair criticism of this film because I was immensely invested.
You know what? I mean, what I've seen, my biggest counterpoint to people who sort of go against this film, saying the characters and plot were paper thin. Okay, right? Yeah, well, this is the thing, right? Everyone's like, "No, it's paper thin." Did you really fucking think that a film that is set as the one take is going to be like super? But also remember the context of World War One, right? Because I know the counterpoint to that is Birdman. Birdman's about fucking Broadway theatre in New York. Of course, that's going to be characterful, and it's going to have loads and loads of things going on. 1917 is in World War One, the biggest hellscape known to man. You know, it's horrid. Like, I mean, I said this a while ago. I said I'd love to see a film about World War One in one take, and they actually made it.
Yeah, well done, Sam.
So,
I absolutely adore this movie so much. I do have complaints.
There's a few bits in it where I was like, but yeah.
But like all, I think truly great films, they're not perfect, and I'm willing to admit that in the sense that it's just an amazing, fantastically made film. As you said, Joe, I think cinematography is the standout. And I'm glad Thomas Newman is back in business scoring, because I love Thomas Newman's scores. And I thought this had a really fantastic score.
He got intrusive at points, but not to the point in which actually was not immersed.
There was only one point where I've seen that a lot. A lot of people were like, there's too much music. There was only one point where I felt that, but we can dive into that. So,
people say that about Thomas Newman's score specifically, though.
Yes, his scores are very like, Shawshank, Green Mile, American Beauty. They're very like, that's the appeal. So let's dive into the plot. So the plot follows these two soldiers. Obviously, they're given the brief to go and stop this attack to prevent a massacre. The only time I felt that in the first 20 minutes, the one take for me wasn't working.
Right.
I thought in the first 20 minutes, I was feeling it was like annoyingly distracting. Like the rest of the film, I completely forgot. It was pitch perfectly done. But that first 20 minutes, I was like, you can cut. It's okay. It was like, I'm pretty sure I noticed it like when they were talking in the trench and they're moving, and then they go in, they see Colin Firth, and the camera's like going into Colin Firth, then it's going to the map, then it's going to Colin Firth. I'm like, you can just cut. It's okay. We will allow it.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah, I was just feeling like there was some moments in the early stuff. Just cut. It would keep the same.
The moment they went over the trench.
Yeah, no. From that point on, exactly. From that point on, go one take because it was flawless.
But that first bit where it just reveals. The reveal of the No Man's Land was.
Tyler, was there any standout scenes in particular for you? The stuff that stuck with you after seeing it, because you've seen it. You saw it a week and a half ago.
Me.
Yeah, it would have been.
Okay, yeah. There's like 2 points in the movie where like, so the first bit was like actual sadness, just because of like how long it went on for. Obviously, you know what I'm on about. Like, I think that might be the longest I think that kind of event has gone on in a movie that I've seen.
So yeah, final warning, major spoilers if you haven't seen the film. So
should we just say spoilers now? So
yeah.
Because I'm not too sure what time it's into yet.
I think Tyler is referring to the death.
Before I get into it, can I just point out that one is tall and skinny, the other one is fat and short. And now in my head, I only see them as Fanboy and Chum Chum. Yeah, so Fanboy died.
Yeah, I thought that was a really wonderfully done.
No, Fanboy didn't die.
I thought
Chum Chum died.
Is Chum Chum the small one?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, well, Chum Chum died then. Leaving Fanboy to take his place.
He literally got skenged.
And then the second bit wasn't like sadness, it was just like an overwhelming of fucking hell, this movie's immense. Is when he steps over the you know, where they get all the chalk along the trench, and he steps over that and starts walking towards the camera. Like, that is like, I wasn't crying because I was sad. It was just like everything got to me in that moment. I was like, fucking hell.
That's really funny because I actually cried exactly at the end. So
Yeah, it's just
I was like, bloody hell.
funny you say that, Ben. Recently, I was diagnosed with retard, so that means you've got it too.
Sorry for our loss.
Okay. Well,
I-
that's stuff was cancelled.
My favourite sequence of the time
No, I won't.
This man. My favourite scene in the subsequent sequence was him meeting the Frenchman and all that night time. And then right through to.
Oh yeah.
To be fair, like when he woke up at night to the end of the film was perfection. It was genuinely fantastic. Like,
Apart
every
from
second.
the really bad VFX stitching when he fell off the waterfall.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was the one bit of the film where it broke immersion when he fell down the waterfall.
It was falling down the waterfall, and when he jumped into the river,
Yeah.
you could kind of tell.
Yeah. I was willing to buy that. I'm a little.
Yeah, no, I don't mean like logically. I just mean in how it was present, like the actual visual presentation of it. I was like, okay, that's obviously a VFX like thing.
That's probably where they'd have benefited from a cut. Well, the immersion of what they're trying to achieve. But yeah, all that nighttime stuff with the flares, breathless, fantastic, and I love that whole scene where he's with the French woman. One nitpick, and Sam Mendes would have been a big Kino head if he'd have done this. And I think this is my conspiracy. There's subtitles in the film, but there doesn't need to be, because it would have added to the confusion and disorientation of warfare. If the
I
subtitles
agree.
would have been removed. Because, and this is why I thought this as a watching, every line she says, she either A, Finch follows it up with an English word, or B, he says in English what she just said to me. So my theory is that Sam Mendes originally wanted, and then the producers were.
Yeah, I was gonna say I reckon it'd be a production decision.
Yeah, because
I mean,
they
if they're going
were
for the
unless-
Oscar run, then yeah, we know how the Oscars hate everything in foreign language.
They were completely unnecessary, and I thought that would have been such a better scene.
Joe.
Shown the barrier.
Parasite.
Yeah, no, but right, Parasite. Correct me if I'm wrong, Ben. Parasite's the only foreign film nominated for Best Picture so far in 92 years.
I believe it's definitely the first Korean film. Let me just
First
check.
Korean film.
Old Boy wasn't
One of
nominated.
very few. Like the Academy really aren't big on.
I'll have you know that Pride and Prejudice was in fact nominated, and that film, as we all know, isn't in any fucking language.
Pride and Prejudice. Wait, which one's that?
That's the like period piece, posh cunts.
Little Women.
Yeah, but
The thing with the reason Parasite's done so well because the Academy recently, in the last few years, have inducted lots more members, and they are of a younger, more open-minded film background. And so that's why we're seeing more Romas and more Parasites becoming award contenders.
Ye-
But the reason stuff like Green Book and such still wins, it is still the old Academy base who are very like classic, stodgy drama. So I think over the next 20 years, we will see
that
stuff like Parasite starting to win.
The reform of the Academy.
that might be why the Joker like has been cleaning house for nominations.
Definitely.
Because everyone in the Academy are fucking idiots.
I agree. I'm going to have to agree with that one.
Okay, let's carry on about 1917.
Oh yeah.
Just carrying on from your point, there have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, only 12 films in the history of the Oscars nominated for Best Picture. So that's incredible.
So 12 out of 92. So there's been
Yes.
80 years.
That's insane. Well, again, no, 12 out of 10 times 92. So 12 out of 920 possible nominations. Really.
Of course. Yeah.
That's insane. And none of them have won. None of them have ever won.
Anyway, let's get back to 1917.
1917.
So like 1917 was like a year.
Standout scene to me was I think just because of it introduced the war in a way that that I think helps a lot. I think it's probably the most useful scene.
Is it the tunnel?
No, it's just before the tunnel, just the no man's land. As soon as they go over, because you don't see a single smidge of what's over that trench for the entirety of like the first like 10, 15 minutes. And then the moment you see it, it's like fuck, you know. And they had, and obviously a lot of it will be, a lot of it will have sort of VFX stuff going on and helping it out. But I mean, a lot of it's been set up because the camera has to move through that, and the fact they managed, getting the camera through the barbed wire with them, without there obviously being things like pushed out of the way or whatever and stuff, and the way that the camera moves through, and at a distance, like you can't see anywhere where that camera could have gone, if you know what I mean. You see the whole barbed wire and the wooden stakes in the floor. It's genius, and I think it's helpful for for audiences that don't know much about World War One, because it's obviously the lesser known war. In my opinion, the more interesting war.
I agree.
I think it's helpful to show people what World War One was, because I think a lot of people see it as like, horse. All people really see of it, I think, is just sort of the cavalry and the sort of the Germans with the spiky hats and the like kind of
trench warfare.
It's a little bit cartoony. But I don't think the World War One is represented very often as what it was. Because it was so horrid, like the birth of the new sort of version, wave of chemical warfare.
When you think about best World War II movies, you think of stuff that years because they've been making since they ended. But when you think of the best World War I movies, besides this new iteration, you literally have to think of like Kubrick's Castle in the 50s. They're so undermade.
They are undermade.
Really. Puzzles me. My theory was when I was sitting up, because I guess there's less clean-cut morality. There's no good guys and bad guys really in it.
Yeah.
Where World War II they like it because it's ideological freedom.
Yeah, and the Nazis are clearly cut bad guys.
Yeah, it's just a waste.
Yeah. World War One was just a waste of life on both sides. And in this film, the Germans edged towards being like annoyingly made out as bad guys at points.
Yeah.
However, I also kind of accepted that. I accepted with the pilot that crashed the dogfight. I was very skeptical when that happened. I was like, well, hang on a fucking minute, they're clearly saving his life. And then equally, I did then remind myself, okay, language barrier. You don't know what this guy's doing. He's on top of you. He dragged you out with flaming pipe. You shot down in adrenaline, language barrier. You would probably just stab him if that's what you've been trained to do and stuff. And so I bought that. But when it got to the bit at night and there's the drunk guys. The young German soldier. I was kind of like, it felt a bit too like, oh god, would he actually do that? If you know what I mean, would he actually call for his friend? And like that sort of, he didn't do it in a way of like help. He did it in a way of like, oh look who I found, kind of funny, jokey way, like drunk. Can I get that? But again, I kind of felt like at points, I think Germany again. Could have been, I think, a little bit more human. That's the one thing I'd want to see from this, is humanise the opposition a little bit more.
I love how little, and I mean that in the sense of it's like
you cut out there. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I was just saying I love how little was in this film. It's literally like he's not fighting. He's shooting people. So he's fighting, flesh and blood opponents, but it's he's got to get through this trench underground, but he's got to go through this river, he's got to get across this crater, he's got to get through this ruins. It's very like he's got to run across this bit. It's surprisingly lack of combat.
Yeah,
and I
think the combat saved it really well. Especially
really
with the way they use sound within the combat in terms of gunshots and stuff, because there is hardly any in the film. They can really push the gunshots to be really shocking and sharp.
Like when he's crossing the bridge.
Yeah, that fucking Jesus Christ.
I shat myself. Or like in the tunnel bit when the explosion goes off.
Yeah, the explosion bit got me too.
Yeah.
I think that was really well built, actually. The tunnel scene.
It was excellent.
Well built. I think there is a bit of an issue where, again, like the only issues I have are slight nitpicks and preferences really, but like when he comes out the tunnel, like as soon as he has a bit of water in his eyes, and he didn't drink water, he watered his eyes and shit, I get that, but then he didn't drink hardly any water if any at all, if I remember. Like after he would, I mean, if his throat's been, you die if you got that much dust in your lungs without even trying to clear your throat, let alone, I mean,
he drinks a bit, doesn't he?
he does, yeah, but
Well,
that was a bit like me.
when you think about it, he definitely does fucking die afterwards. Because like he gets the barbed wire in his hand, and then it immediately goes into a dead man's like chest cavity,
More with that. Thought that it was going to be a plot point where his arm became
like gangrene.
or like he had to lop it off or something. But then I suppose it would have bordered a bit kind of.
Yeah, I think a lot of the stuff with another reason, just going back to that opening trench scene, is just that I think the reason that one's so great as well is because of they built bodies into the ground. They built the dugouts and they built the foxholes and they filled them with really shitty water, and like the actors had to go through that. What you got to remember is because it's all one takes, they're not stunt doubles. The actors had to just go through that shitty water and put their hands in those prosthetics. And even though they are like prosthetic bodies and whatever, it's still like they look so.
Oh
real.
no! When he's in the fucking river just before the singing bit,
Yeah.
and he has to crawl across the French bodies.
That was
that's
incredible. I love and when that him singing that song was fantastic.
Yeah,
That was a really great. That was
really
great
good.
point.
Yeah, and him breaking down and just crying. Like it's the first time you see that from his character. Like you see panic, but you never see just like the emotional. He just loses it.
Yeah, I think if any comparison is going to be drawn between another war film, it has to be Come and See. But I don't say that too heavily because Come and See definitely does things that this film doesn't. But I think Come and See also is a thing of its time, and it's Come and See is just it's so extreme.
I do agree that it is completely in the vein of some of the stuff. It's just horrific and it's.
I think this film could have maybe
draining.
dealt with the degradation of our main character's psychology a little bit more, and then it would reach the heights of something like Come and See. But they're both massive like best war films I've seen for very different reasons. But the thing that they do share is just futility, dread, and sort of intensity. I think our character could have been made just a bit deeper if he had gone a bit mental.
I agree. I love that ending. It's brilliant.
Yeah,
That-
I
him
think
going to sit down by the tree. That was pitch perfect, and it's such a cliche in war movies where they pull out the photo and they go, "This is my wife."
they did a bit of the photo bit. They did a bit of the photo stuff,
Yeah,
but that was like mid-film. That was mid-film, and it worked because the subversion was. I thought Chum Chum, I thought Chum Chum was going to be the main character, right? Because it's like his brother at the end.
Yeah.
And then they killed him off. They killed him off like 40 minutes in the middle. I was like, what the fuck?
It's my own fault for guessing it, and I wish I hadn't guessed it. Because I saw Lanky Boy running in the trailer, I went, oh, the other dude's gonna pop.
Yeah, I got that as well.
I didn't pay that much attention in the trailer because the trailer really was forgettable. And the trailer made me worried about this film because the trailer really undersold it.
I love the ending where he goes off and he sits down. It was very like Malik. It was just so quiet and the calm, and then he pulls up the photo. That was pitch perfect character thing, and it's a complete inverse of the pulling it out at the start, giving the audience a reason to care. In that he earns, it's like the audience earns to know why they should care, because you sit through the whole film with this character, and I was so invested in this dude. I was just like, by the end of it, I was just like, fucking go. And I cared about this guy so much, and then at the end he pulls out the photo and it just topped it.
Do you guys want to know some fun trivia about when he's running at the end?
One of the bodies falls over and doesn't get up, but even though he got like bumped into him.
Well, no. Sometimes when he ran into the people, I think one of them wasn't intentional.
Oh really?
One of them.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah, one's intentional, one's an accident, but he just kept going. You know when he gets hit and he rolls and then gets back up again?
Yeah.
Instead of getting hit, falling over and getting back up. One where he rolls, I think, is an accident.
It's the second one, yeah. The second one.
Yeah.
Was the second one an accident?
He gets bodied in that one. He gets.
The second one was actually much better because the first one, I don't know if you guys noticed, but when that guy got knocked over, he just lay on the floor and didn't move as if he was dead.
There's an issue with that scene where a lot of people just like fell over and laid down.
I love the visual.
A bit of pink mist would have worked.
Yeah.
Symbolism of the camera just leaving him behind. That's like symbolic of the story, literally just like leaving him behind. If he doesn't keep up, he'll just leave
I would
him.
agree.
Brilliant.
Because there's a point in the film when they go into no man's land right at the start where the camera stops being in front of them and then goes behind them, and that happens when they start getting deep into the trenches at the start of the no man's land at the start of the film. And for most of the film, if the camera follows them, and then again it sort of flips back to that at the end of it sort of being in front of them. It's quite interesting how they did that. And also with the cinematography, even like shit like details in the background, like just towers or churches and stuff, every time it was like even like minor shit in the background was somehow always perfectly within sort of the composition of the shot, and it was just brilliant. It wasn't just the composition that you could see in front of you. There was composition within the background of every shot as well.
There was so many moments where the one take, and you're like, is this a painting? Like it was so well.
I loved some of the bits though in the town at night with just the shadow. When the shadows of like the German soldiers were like just within that sort of that orange smoke. It's terrifying.
My whole favourite sequence. It was just so good.
It was very Deakins, obviously, because you got sort of the yellowy orange light and stuff.
Yeah, it was very classic Deakins. It's just great. It's just really.
But even some stuff like when he fired the flare, when it came like around the characters after he fired the flare,
you can see it drop down.
You can see it drop in the background
Yeah.
and stuff.
Good
That's the kind of little bits that you just appreciate. Because they could have very easily just been like, okay, VFX guys, you're done for today. But they were like, no, make sure that flare's in the background.
Nice touch with the changing colour of the guy dying when Mamie was dying, main boy.
Chum.
It'd have been very easy because it's one take for them to just be like, oh, he's dead.
Yeah, do you reckon like the makeup
the
people like rushed on?
Maybe, because there's a bit. I think they started to do it when it pans over to him getting milk.
Yeah.
Water. Sorry. He's getting water. So what they'd have done is probably rushed on, giving him a quick grey, and then because he's out of focus for a bit or in the distance. So then by the time it panned back to him like 20 seconds later, he would have been the grey. And then I don't know what they did for the rest of it because he seems to genuinely degrade.
I reckon that would have been either like
maybe?
possibly grading, maybe like a couple takes stitched together.
Yeah, or possibly VFX.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you can de-age someone, you can make someone's skin pale.
Yeah, because it was really good. And
Yeah.
I love that hub scene on the truck. That was.
I think at points in this film, some of the acting gets a bit shit. Like with some of the non-name characters, like sometimes their line delivery's a bit like, do you know what I mean when I say like it's a bit BAFTA nominated short film? If you know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah, I completely get that.
It's kind of like, oh, you're just one of them, you know. It's like where you've been mate. Yeah, and they're kind of like the sort of the actors are sort of having it up a bit too much.
Yeah.
But I kind of appreciated that because it's kind of it made you feel immersed because it wasn't just like it made you appreciate sort of just the mass of the film, if you know, somehow like just having like these rando like non because there's a lot of like famous faces that popped up in the film. And it was quite good that not every like person that spoke was someone reasonably well known. Like a lot of them were just like random
Extras, yeah.
Like,
I quite like the fact that the delivery is a bit stodgy because some people in real life they just speak weird and they're just like and they're weird.
well, I mean, again, back in World War One, you know, they might just be like simple farm folk. You know, this is like the early 1900s, well, 1910s.
Yeah, so that's why I didn't mind.
Well, late 1910s.
I do agree the extra some of the lines. But I really didn't mind it. I thought it added.
Mark Strong was a weird addition, but I didn't mind it.
Criticisms, I didn't. There was only one or two famous faces coming up that weren't distracting. In the sense that Richard Madden at the end worked because it was like
yes, because
he
he actually looked like him.
Yeah, he looks like him, and it's like a payoff for the audience. They go, oh, it's you know. But I thought Sherlock man was really distracting. No,
yeah, that was distracting.
Sorry, not yeah, Cumberbatch.
Oh,
but also Andrew. forget his name.
Yes, yeah.
Moriarty.
He was the Irish one. He's like, hey, my car, anyway. Yeah.
I didn't mind the fact that it's not his character. It was just him. It was very distracting. It was like, oh,
Yeah, he was weird.
So.
Yeah.
And I didn't really like Mark Strong again because I know who he is. I could buy it. That was
I
probably
like what they did with Mark Strong because
very
they didn't
quiet.
reveal his face. They had him speak for quite a while before they showed his face, and then because Mark Strong has the voice,
Yeah.
But the problem is that he also does the Aviva adverts. So. That's LV.
Same thing, right?
Aviva used to sponsor Norwich. I think it's Best Fiends now. Or do Aviva still sponsor Norwich City?
That's why it might still be Aviva, sorry.
Yeah.
Football.
But they just felt a little bit distracting, especially Cumberbatch. Like, just put some random.
Cumberbatch wasn't a big enough character for that to work.
Yeah, it was like.
I didn't mind Colin Firth because I only noticed it was Colin Firth like at the end of that scene.
Yeah, again, I can buy Colin Firth as a general. I buy that. Why not?
It's because Colin Firth has like the square enough head.
Yeah, where he just looks.
Mark Strong he's got a tic tac head. And fucking Cumberbatch, you could snap him over your knee.
Yeah, he's too young to be like that, like a major.
Also, he's the Grinch, so like.
I know he's like not that young, but also like a major wouldn't have been like he would have been.
Now you could do a mid-40s major. It would just be unusual. I think there were examples.
Majors tended to be a bit older.
Yeah, usually a bit older. But I think there were majors that were as young as. But it's very uncommon. So, yeah. Script in places I thought was a bit not bad, but I just thought there were certain lines where I thought,
Yeah.
okay, cool. But again, that was entirely
Again, in defense of the film, it's about using the characters as a window
Yes.
into the film's. And this is why I think we should just wrap up.
Okay.
Just like with final thoughts on just like
And ratings. And
Yeah,
let's do final thoughts on ratings.
I think the film is a window into the horror of World War One. The characters are a device for the imagery and the storytelling of just basically showing, just basically saying, yeah, this is fucked up, and showing sort of the immense scale of it and not really immense scale, just sort of the immense sort of horror. But my defense of any of the criticisms facing the film about its story and stuff and its plot would be Mad Max Fury Road. That's just,
Dunkirk.
Mad Max to more of an extent because people obviously love Mad Max. I love Mad Max.
I love it. Who doesn't love Mad Max? Oh,
But
wait,
like, come on. Like, you can't be saying Mad Max Fury Road is like epic. You can't have that double standard, right? You can't be like, yeah, Mad Max Fury Road's great, but this 1917 has no plot. And I kind of get where people lie with this film. They do make you try and care about characters a bit more than they do in Mad Max Fury Road. But I mean, Furiosa still has like a character like emotional scene, so I don't see why there's a double standard between the two films, to be honest. Because I was reading a few reviews of them on Letterboxd, just being like, oh, no plot, and I go onto their profile and see that they reviewed Mad Max Fury Road. It's like 5 stars. It's like, well, if you're gonna appreciate the nuance of Mad Max Fury Road, which it sounds hilarious in a sentence, but it is a nuanced film. It knows exactly what it's doing. This film knows exactly what it's doing as well.
Yeah.
But there are just a few nitpicks in it. To be fair, Mad Max Fury Road I think works better because I don't think there's anything to nitpick in that film, to be honest.
Yes, there is.
Final rating, Joe?
Final rating. I think it's 10 out of 10. To be honest, all things aside, 10 out of 10 because I have yet to see or think of how anything in World War One can be presented in a better way.
Yeah, no, I get it. Tyler, final thoughts and rating?
10 out of 10. And I think it's better than Mad Max. Because the entire first act of Mad Max has sloppy CGI in many more places than 1917 does.
Yeah, I get that.
And I feel like 1917 is much more like a calculated move by move thing, whereas Mad Max is much more of an emotional driven. Yeah, this is fucking sick.
Mad Max is incredibly calculated.
No, yeah, but I mean, like, when you're watching Mad Max, you feel a lot more.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. But like when you're watching 1917, it's like.
No, in that way, yeah.
Yeah.
In terms of how the audience feels about it, I would agree. Ben, thoughts? Hey.
Oh, you've just been groupthinked.
Really, 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 really enjoyed it.
Do you think it should win Best Picture? Although we haven't
Yes.
seen Parasite yet, so...
I thought of this, having seen 5 of 9 Best Picture nominations so far, and with plans to see them before. As it currently stands, I would not be pressed if 1917 won Best Picture. I would not mind at all. I think part of me wants it to not win, just so it's even more beloved, because there's been this trend of stuff that should have won but doesn't, and then it becomes even more critically beloved purely because
Well, I mean, Moonlight won, and that's a beloved film.
yeah. But there's examples.
La La Land won.
Technically,
La La Land.
technically did, and then it didn't. But yeah, again, very, very, very excellent piece of cinema from Sam Mendes. Ends his kind of losing streak. He's beyond.
Spectre.
Yeah, Spectre was kind of literally
Jarhead.
Blair. It's his
Oh,
best.
that's great!
It's his best film since American.
I've seen it.
That is definitely saying.
Oh, don't bring up American Beauty, Kevin Spacey.
Kevin Spacey's great in that film.
Alright, let's not talk about Kevin Spacey because we
Let's
have
move on.
opinions on that.
So, we'll just take a short break and then we'll be right back. Thank you.
Oh!
So, for our final discussion of this evening, it was actually my recommendation this week. And so, instead of picking something actually enjoyable, I decided to inflict misery upon my fellow STUFFCAStians. Picking the 2017 film First Reformed, starring Ethan Hawke, written and directed by Paul Schrader. Of course, did Taxi Driver, Raging Bull, lots, Dog Eat Dog, lots of very famous films. It's my pick, but I'd like to hear you guys' initial impressions first, and then we can dive a bit more into spoilers.
So, my first impressions will have to come next week because I'm a cheeky little slimer. I forgot to watch it.
Hey, do you know what? That's okay. Because
Cheeky slimer.
I've been a cheeky slimer recently.
Yeah,
Finally
but
get some.
me and Ben are cheeky little slimers.
Do we all get a cheeky slimer like card then?
Yeah,
Cheeky slimer card.
we all get one, and then it resets.
I will never have to use my cheeky slimer card.
That means
You know,
me and Ben can't use them.
Your house will burn down, and then you will.
I'll make sure your house burns down.
Because then you'll be like, oh no, my DVD player, and we'll be like, sorry, Joe, you said you never need the card.
I'm never going to use my cheeky slimer card.
Yep.
I'm going to keep it just in case of emergencies.
Oh, good.
But I have watched it.
So Joe, hit me with it.
Well, I've got to say,
Mark McGrath.
well, obviously, Mark
He is in
McGrath.
it.
He's excellent. Yeah.
Very good.
Yes, First Reformed. Not what I expected, which I appreciate. I dug the vibe. I dug the skills it took to make it. I did not dig or care about anything that happened. But I think we need to talk in detail about that, unless you do a little thing as well.
Personally, I think this was my second time watching First Reformed on my rewatch for myself, and I got a lot more from it. That's to say, I did really enjoy it on the first viewing, that should be noted, but I got a lot from it on the second view because I knew the pacing, I knew what was coming, and I could appreciate a lot of build up a lot more. I think when the first time you see a film, you're like, is this supposed to be slow? Is this supposed to be fast? You know, what's happening? And that's the same with most films, but then when you watch them again, you get to appreciate, sort of seep into it, and I got a lot more from it this time. I think the reason that the film just hits with me, I really love this film, by the way, if you didn't already guess. The thing it hits is because I grew up in a very similar religious system,
Yeah.
so I get and I understand a lot of the dilemma of the film and the wrestle, and I think the film's about how can people keep faith, because I believe Schrader is a Christian. I think I read that somewhere. He's like a Christianity light, he's not too heavy, but he kind of still believes it. Is how can we live in a world as messed up as ours and still keep faith in something that we don't. It seems so impossible. So I think that's just kind of what it explores. It explores despair and hope and desperation, and I just think it illustrates it in a really realistic way, because it's exactly what I've felt at points in my life, and it's exactly what I think a lot of
Well, you strapped on a suicide vest.
people. We don't go there, right? That's a very dark time. I was like, Paul Schrader has been reading my emails. God damn it. Genuinely. Kino. But no, it's I can get why you wouldn't like it. I understand.
Yeah,
It's
I had
the
those
place-
dilemmas. I had those dilemmas too, because I went to Church of England primary school. But I had those dilemmas in year 4, and they were very quickly resolved.
Yeah.
Because I was taken out of assembly because I refused to. One morning, like, I don't know, I was like, I don't think God's real, so I won't pray in assembly, right?
Good for you.
So then the head teacher took me out of assembly and kept me back over break time and wouldn't let me go out on the playground to talk to me as to why I should be praying in assembly. And then the moment that happened, I was like, I don't believe there is a God, and I'm never praying again, because I was told that I should pray, and that God was real. And as soon as some fucking, like, I don't have an authority problem, right? Well, actually, no, I do, but it's only with people who I don't believe should be in authority, right? Like, I believe that the police are an ultimate authority, right? I think the police should be incredibly strong, you know, and I believe, if I respect whoever is in authority, then I will take that authority, absolutely. I believe in control quite heavily in terms of things like school and sort of civil, you know, just being not a criminal, basically. And you know, in school, when I've had teachers that I've liked and respected and had a mutual respect for, every time someone like would misbehave in the class, I'd get annoyed because they're kind of disrespecting the teacher, right?
Yeah.
But then when there's someone who's a fucking cunt and then they get disrespected, I don't feel bad at all. Like when like my shit teachers had the the piss ripped out of them by the fucking smoker students, being like, I'm just sitting there laughing about it because you know it really does depend on the person. And my head teacher, I was like, I'm not going out to playground because that means you're a cunt. So that means if you're telling me to believe in God, I'm not going to believe in God anymore. And that's my battle with Christianity. So it's a lot simpler than First Reformed, because basically it's like I can't go and play Army Man in the Jungle with my friends at break time in year 4. Therefore, God is not real.
That's a very valid.
So
Yes.
yeah, so I got over that really quickly, and I haven't struggled with that at all. The only thing I have like had qualms with is like, am I an atheist or am I agnostic?
Well,
and
technically every atheist is agnostic because
yes, but like
Look-
atheists are actively like trying to
disprove it.
I think
Yeah.
an atheist's beef, for lack of a better word, comes from, it's more of a criticism of organised religion rather than the idea there's a God. I think agnostics more like, yeah, organised religion might be right, I don't know, whereas atheists are like, there could be a God, but I don't think any of the organised religion at work today works because it's done this and it has a terrible history.
Well, you see,
I think that's
I would say I'm agnostic because I don't believe religion should be allowed. However, I also don't believe that anyone has any right to tell people to not believe in certain things. That's why I really get stuck with religion, because I think that religion is possibly the most damaging thing in the world.
Yeah.
AIDS.
Absolutely. I mean, look at the Middle East.
Look at anywhere.
Well, yeah, look at anywhere. I mean, look at like Christianity, like the Westboro Baptist Church. Look at the divide in America. America thinks it's a Christian country, and actually the Constitution writes that religion shouldn't dictate the state.
It's secular, yeah, it should be.
You know, I think religion just damages things because obviously, I think religion breeds like a sort of a supremacy as well, which feeds into things like white supremacy.
I agree completely.
You know, it's like you are not worthy of us. We're different. It's a very divisive thing. But then equally, I also wouldn't like it if people start saying to me, you have to believe in God, because saying you can't believe that there's a God is equal to me forcing me to believe in God. So there's why I can't quite make my mind up. I think it'd be safer for religion to just not be a thing. Equally, it's not fair either. But you know, that's where I stand with religion and shit, and that wasn't really explored in this film very much. In ways, I guess, but not. It's not the primary focus, which is something.
I think it kind of is.
Kind of, yeah.
It deals with the contradictions we all live with, especially people who do maybe believe in God and are subscribed to a religious set of beliefs, but don't, and they have to lie to themselves to deal with, and have to jump through hoops to deal with all of the world's problems and the existence of them. And it's heavily inspired. Schrader said in an interview, it's heavily inspired by two other films, both of which I've seen. It's Diary of a Country Priest by Rob.
I was saying Diary of a Wimpy Kid there.
You know what? It's also inspired by Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Especially the suicide vest scene. And the second film is Winter Light by Ingmar. They're both films about priests of small parishes or churches and dealing with their own faith and kind of. So he borrows from them, but it's also very much his own thing. We'll start on objectives and then we can delve into kind
of course,
more subjective analysis.
Because in terms of objective analysis of this film, I can't.
Ethan Hawke was a rot. Nomination. He should have won.
Did he not get nominated?
No nomination.
That's big snub then. Yeah, I was thinking that when I was watching it, I was thinking like, well, he had to have been nominated. At least.
Incredible performance.
It's great. It's really great.
Nuance.
It's really, really, really like harrowing just to see someone go through what he does. And it's amazing how what he goes through as a character is caused by. Well, there are causes, but like a lot of it is just him, sort of self-indulging in the journal and stuff.
Yeah, self-pity,
it's just insane how a character can cause themselves that much damage.
He has unresolved trauma, his failed marriage and death, and he's clinging to the church as tight as he can because otherwise, if he loosens the grip, he'll completely fall apart, and he does when that seed doubt is placed in his mind by Michael.
Yeah,
that is the straw that breaks the camel's back because he already has that doubt. You see that?
Yeah.
Counters this activist, and he just thinks, "Fuck, I've lost it." So
I think
it's a very fragile balance in his mind.
I think squeaky chair. I think the direction could have been a bit more interesting in terms of just the use of the camera, because there was obviously exceptional talent behind that.
Yes.
I think that they kind of underplayed it, but I do also understand. I also do respect the aesthetic of it being quite a small town, small church, like an old wooden Dutch colony church thing. I do quite like it. It really does capture that small town New York feel. That outer New York town.
Yeah, it's kind of like some kind of purgatory, isn't it? It just feels.
It is, yeah.
It feels lifted out of any form of life.
It's weird. It's like if you just put a bunch of American suburban buildings in the UK, because like the weather in it is constantly just the fucking most horrible grey shit. And I think that obviously this film looks great. I found at points sometimes like the framing was just got a bit tedious because it was sometimes just flat all the time.
I kind of like that.
I liked a lot of it. I mean, it was a good breath of fresh air, wherein like a lot of conversations within rooms were sort of quite wide, and they're sort of like hip level wide, and that worked. It was a nice breath of fresh air, but things got a bit too like tight and a bit too flat at points, and it almost became sort of visual noise. Yeah. Within the church, like you've got so many of the sort of the rows of seats, and then like behind the rows of seats, you've got like different, like sort of the pillars at the back, and then more, like because the church is obviously so deep, such a deep thing to shoot, and it's quite hard not to have sort of a bunch of noise in the background. But
Yeah.
a lot of the film it worked, but there were shots that just hung on a bit too long with like what they're presenting.
I get that.
There wasn't enough stuff sort of revealed progressively. It just kind of hung on.
I'm someone who really subscribes to that kind of lingering camera. I like that because.
Oh yeah, I love that in
Because
horror.
it immediately. I forget who it was, an interview somewhere. They were talking about that, and they finally put into work field is when the camera lingers when the action stops or something else. Thing your brain instantly goes, why is it showing me this? And I think, and it just encourages like you're more connected with it because the filmmaker's wasting time showing you like nothing, or like there's a purpose for it.
Yeah.
And you think, and your brain goes, hang on a minute, something's gonna happen, and then it doesn't. It moves on. It just builds this tension, and you're more connected to it. And I love that kind of. I really gets my gun going, but it's very. Hard to
I do understand that, but but I just thought sometimes it was just a little bit too long. You know, a little bit. Like,
no, I can get that.
It's time now within the context of the conversation. It's time to move to move on with the conversation. If you know what I mean. Because this film is essentially a series of conversations. Like, there's no real. Yeah. Apart from one bit that did make me laugh out loud and kind of was, again, going with the sort of theme.
I know. What
straw that broke the camel's back. That didn't help me appreciate the film at all.
I get what you mean.
All I'm saying is the floaty scene.
Yes, very darkly. Well, before we get into that, very darkly funny film as well.
Does he do a massive poo?
Humour. Do you know what? It's not far off. And there is a lot of urinating, spitting blood, and feces in this film.
Does she pee in his mouth?
The peeing bit was kind of funny. Like, he looked genuinely panicked when he was peeing.
It's just, I just looked at it and I was
Piss.
like, wow, that's an interesting colour.
What was that, Joe?
You love the pissing scene.
Yeah.
It's the most intense and harrowing pissing scene in the cinema. I've seen it on
is.
It really is.
It's just, I just love this film. I completely get why you can't see it.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, it's something that I would be like, if I had a connection in my life to it, to the religious aspect of it, I think I would really love this film. I just can't. It's just not something that I've been through. I can't empathise with it at all.
I get
another thing is the climate change aspect of it.
Yeah.
Which I was just like, fuck you, you know, because I the whole climate change thing, I just don't care. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I think
I want to drive my Lambo. Look at all them Lambos.
Look at all them Lambos.
In Winterlight, the Swedish film, there's a slight. It's kind of similar in which a man confides in a priest and he's terrified of nuclear war. That was made in the 60s. So I think what Schrader has done.
Just moved it on with the time.
Yeah, he takes the same concept, but he just plants in our contemporary issues. But the baseline principle is the same. It's how can these religious systems justify the suffering caused by various things, and is it A, are all going to be okay? We should just trust God and don't do anything because God will do it. B, are we supposed to be martyrs and stand up stuff and not let it carry on? Because there's constant contradiction within the Bible and a lot of scripture that agree with both sides. So, yeah, man, I just love this film. Also, really, lots of really funny bits, as I'm saying. Casting, I forget his name. Is it Clarice the Entertainer?
Cedric the Entertainer.
Cedric the Entertainer.
Yeah, Maurice. Maurice from Madagascar.
Heads like pasta. Hilarious.
No, he's good. He's my favourite in the film.
He's so good though.
Because I love Cedric the Entertainer, Maurice from Madagascar, because he's Maurice from Madagascar. Yeah, he's just.
He's genuinely great in it.
Also, his name is Cedric the Entertainer.
I loved the scene where he's like talking about the slave tunnel to the kids. There's lots of deliberate dark humour in there, and that's classic Schrader. Especially, and that also when what's the one when they're in when he's taking them around the church, and he's like, "We've got a gift shop, and here are the shirts and the hats." And the guy does that really weird joke, and he's just kind of like, "Yeah, I haven't had that. Cool."
Yeah.
It's so. I love the humor film. It's really well. Let's get into
off kilter humour.
We can get into spoilers now, or we could prolong it so Tyler can.
Um,
I'm very conscious. I'm completely agree.
I don't know, Tyler. What do you think?
You guys can get into it if you want. I don't particularly mind.
I'll speak as vaguely as possible because I feel like I can articulate my sort of feelings on the bits.
I shall do the same. There are a few what moments in this.
Because there's
Turn down for what?
Oh, to be fair, he does actually he listens to that on Zoom.
No way.
He's like, seems again, he's like, Ethan Hawke, wanna listen to Microsoft Zoom? And he's like, Microsoft Zoom. and then
a man to see through is like, I haven't got Microsoft Zoom.
And it's like,
Surprise.
and he's like, shut your bitch ass up. And then Ethan Hawke's like takes his like Mission Impossible latex mask off and says, it's actually Mark McGrath.
Oh, so nothing has changed.
Fuck you, fuck it.
Nothing has changed.
Yeah, I mean.
Oh, fuck your fucking ass, please.
I mean, the floaty scene, that happened at the wrong moment of the film, because that was where the film was losing me already.
Okay, yeah.
And then that happened, and I was like, this film was played so straight.
I think that's the point. I think that and the ending, I won't conscious spoil, but I think they're so heightened and they're so out of there because it highlights the inherent spirituality of it and just how
I enjoyed the apocalyptic imagery that they had.
Yes.
That was fantastic.
Really
even though it was about climate change, I just think how they portrayed sort of the end of the world was a very, very realistic thing.
It's very well done.
Like the vacant ferry in the lake and
Yeah.
that one shot, it looked like it was on like. It looked like archive footage. It didn't look like an actual
Yeah, it's really well done. I think those scenes represent Toller's internal they're moments of heightened internal emotion or spiritual connection or thing. So that and the ending, because those are the only two scenes that stand out in the film as completely heightened reality. You know, things are going.
When you say the end, do you mean like the barbed wire stuff?
Yes, the final.
Yeah. But that didn't bother me. That was believable enough. I was
no, not the barbed wire. Like the final 2 minutes where she.
Oh right.
Yeah. So that ending and the float scene are the two moments in the film where the reality kind of twists and bends.
I didn't mind the actual end, but the floaty bit was like, I was like, for fuck's sake.
I love it because it's so. I think again, and Schrader did say in an interview, he was like, I thought what would Tarkovsky do, and Tarkovsky does have a lot of floating in many of his films.
No, but it was like they were lying on top of they were on top of each other, and that was like, I was like, okay, that's weird, but it kind of whatever. This film's kind of gone off kilter, way about it. And then the moment they started slowly levitating off the floor, I was like, no. And then the room dissolved out, and I was like, fucking hell! I actually said to myself, fucking hell.
Yeah, no, I think.
And then that happened.
It's just, I just love it.
But the barbed wire and the suicide vest imagery towards the end of the film, and that bit where he puts on his gown or whatever,
yeah,
and he bites into it, and then he just starts screaming while he's biting that. It's
that's
horrid.
Fantastic, yeah.
It's he looked fucked up. That bit was the bit of the film where I was like, I like this. But again, when I think about it in retrospect, what everything led up to that. That was good in isolation, and within the whole film, that was like a one high point for me. Like the rest of the film was very kind of middling, and then that was a high point.
Yeah, I can dig that.
So that doesn't it made the film end on a sweeter note because it had something that wasn't the floaty scene. If that scene hadn't have happened, and it was just the ending and the floaty bit, this film would be I would have thrown it on the fucking garbage.
Yeah,
I would despise this film.
It's a marvelous ending. It's probably my favorite ending. It's just there's so much there. I really, really Love it.
But yeah, I've discussed a lot of my favourite bits and issues, so I haven't really got much more to say. So, if you want to just talk about what you want to talk about,
Yeah,
sort of me cutting it.
I guess I don't know. It's again a lot of it is narration. It's a very like Schradery type. It's a very Taxi Driver. You know, Taxi Driver is a very heavily narration based film. And I think a lot of his inner dialogue, I think it's really well done for narration because it's. I think if you're not used to that kind of speak, it can feel on the nose, but as it goes on, you get more used to it. I think.
Yeah, at the start, it was quite like on the nose, but I got used to that.
Yeah, you definitely get used to it, and
because of how damaged he is.
Yeah. Also, favourite scene, or one of my favourite scenes, and I have many favourite. I love when she is scattering ash, and it just lingers on her shaking the bag. That is so funny, and that is you can't tell me that's not deliberately funny. Schrader is definitely having.
Yeah, there's a lot more.
There's so much satire in this dark comedy.
It's even with, like the branding of like the big sort of evangelical church. Like I love that, like that shot of the outside of like that giant like arena type church. And it's got like the flame as the logo or whatever.
The thing is that a lot of Mormon churches, at least the interiors, look like that. So it's so funny to.
Yeah, and all of the shots of like the different choir kids like singing and stuff. Like I was just whoever did the casting for this film cast like all the like choir teenagers perfectly. They look like the type of bitches who do that.
Exactly.
Can I just?
That was very funny.
It's just an excellent portrayal of a man descending into complete madness and giving up all hope.
Much like Joker.
Yeah, what?
Fuck off.
I'm gonna pause and try and wash that from my memory. It's like it's watching a man who has one tiny bit of hope, and then watching him lose that, and then literally fall into the pit.
Yeah, I do appreciate how he just gets fucking memed by like next to like by like one nutter. He's just like, I'm having a kid, and I don't know if I want to do that. And then it's just like, and you know, it's crazy.
It's just and there's cinematography is obviously excellent.
Yeah.
Stand-up shot. And Ethan Hawke is pitch perfect, and it's one of those films. I think it'd be like you talking about Mad Max. I share your love of Mad Max, but it's one of those films you love so much about it, you just can't talk about it. If you talked about it, how much you loved about it, you go on for like 2 hours solid. So I'll round it off there.
All right.
Just time.
So
we can have Tyler's thoughts on it if he didn't catch it.
Yeah, Tyler, were you gonna say something? Just.
You were saying about the casting, right?
Yeah.
And you were saying about the choir boys.
Yeah.
Can I just check you're not saying queer weirdly?
No, he's saying.
No.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool.
He's saying choir boys.
Yeah, the choir kids. They're fucking hilarious. That did make me. There are bits of it that made me chuckle because obviously being an outsider of religion, I do look at it and I think, God,
what?
Yeah, sometimes.
Joe, I thought you were Muslim.
Like, no, I'm not. I sent you pics of my prayer mat. Please respond.
Looks like I've been deceived.
Personally, I really love this film. I think it's artful and it has a point. It's not just like for the sake of existing. You know, it has a real something to say and it's interesting and it's reflective. And I think it's at some point or another, everyone in their life deals with questions of this struggle. So I think it's very relevant. And I love it. Joe, rating?
For me, it's going to be a 6 out of 10.
Okay, can dig it.
Yeah.
For me, I'm gonna go strong 9, maybe 10. But again, I think a large part of it is the religious.
It's life experience. It's life experience, you know.
It's life experience that relates to it. It's like I relate to Hook experience because I was a. You have never experienced that.
Robin Williams was like, "Want to see my watch collection?"
Yeah, I do, Robin.
What did you just say?
Want to see my watch collection?
Watch.
He collected watches.
Did he?
Yeah,
I've never heard that in my life.
Are you fucking serious? It's like Elton John is wine. Like he almost bankrupted him.
That's so funny. I'm really glad you shared that.
Yeah, he
I
collected
do
watches.
actually like Robert. I'm sorry.
No, I relate to prisoners because.
On the movie,
Be careful of what you say.
Yeah, no, actually, I'm not gonna go there. Because I was gonna, because Paul Dano tried to bum me.
Paul Dano. I watched There Will Be Blood again the other day. I was like, I love him. He's so good.
He's hit or miss. He's hit or miss. Like in Okja, he sucked in Okja so bad.
Probably had nothing to work.
Hit or miss. I give you no miss.
Is he playing two people? No, that's Tilda Swinton.
That's Tilda Swinton playing fucking everyone in Cynthia or whatever.
I
think we should have a discussion on it.
Okay, well,
give it another proper rewatch.
On that note, next week, hopefully,
please don't actually pick Suspiria.
Okay, no,
That'll just be another week where I haven't watched it.
That concludes today's discussion. Thank you so much for you guys. We'll round off by our next week's topic pick from who is it this week? I believe it's Joe.
Yeah, it's Joe.
So Joe, you get to select our next week film. What have you got for us?
Joe?
Has Joe passed to the nether realm?
I think he's just did a big old fart from his bum.
He just farted. Use it.
I think like farts a lot, you know? If I'm being honest, I just sort of sit around. I think about him. And I was like, damn.
Big fart. Shouldn't get. Joe, have you just Joe? Hang on. Joe, you're gonna have to.
Oh, fuck you!
Oh, sorry, did I ding you?
Fucking Joseph.
His Mac must have genuinely bricked because he literally didn't even leave. Yeah, there we go.
Ah.
Finally. Okay, so this is elevator music.
Is that? I assume that's elevator music.
No matter what I do. Welcome back, Robert De Niro Shark. I believe he's.
Fucking hell! Literally, as I was about to fucking talk, like Discord is like no disconnect, bro.
I just conceived a genius idea relating to our early top. Director of Bond film, Steve McQueen.
Oh fuck! He would be
John Boyega as Bond. How sick!
Damn!
It's the Black Bond film.
But it would be good.
I'm gonna be honest, Joe. I'm not a massive fan of how you said the word black there.
Yeah, that was kind of.
I didn't mean it like that. I love Steve McQueen.
The Black Bond film.
Anywho, we shall round off. So, Joe, what have you got for us for next week's special film?
Well. I mean, there's between two. And to be honest, talking of just reminded me of Casino Royale. Maybe I was considering this before even. I didn't know if we were going to talk about Casino Royale on this one. But I'm going to choose Casino Royale for next week because nice. I feel like I want to talk about it more. There is some shit in that film that he just slaps. Like there's some shit that's ridiculously tough in that film, especially the Bond villain. I think he's underrated Bond villain. Like Mads Mikkelsen, he's a nutter, isn't he? I mean, it's so cool. But hopefully next week we'll possibly even have a guest on, maybe.
Ooh, I wonder who that will be.
I wonder who it will be. But I would like to say the other one that I was considering was Rango.
Oh what? Oh.
Why didn't you pick Rango, you cretin?
Because we did like an animation recently, so I was like, yeah, we'll do something else.
Rango's not animated.
Rango's live action, you fucking pleb.
Idiot.
It's not live action.
Joe, why are you such a fucking idiot?
Okay, Casino Royale next week is gonna go crazy hard.
Okay, so join us next week. We'll be talking about various other topics with a in-depth discussion of Casino Royale. Thank you for listening.
And Tyler's
I have been Ben.
updated thoughts on
First Reformed.
First Reformed.
So thank you for listening. I have been Ben.
Wow.
Joe has been Joe, and Tyler has been Ed.